Hello, everyone. Welcome to Absolute Cuts. This week, you won't see this unless you're on YouTube. Brought to you by Carlsberg. Probably the best beer in the world.
Do you think Carlsberg is going to ring us going like, please do not use our product?
The only ones that have had sponsorship taken away from us when we never even had it as fucking sponsorship.
Wait a minute, is your hair a different colour?
No, I've cut it.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Man, it's amazing how the proper changed up.
It's because all the blonde bits
obviously were just
sitting right on the top of.
But that feels like your hair's
hair.
still somewhat long. I felt you would have to do this.
Because I tell you what I was doing, right? I was right. I'll tell you because I'll explain this in a minute, right? Mm. But I cut my own hair.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
which
same.
I think people might know if they've ever seen me live. So I've done it for years. And the real reason I do it...
Did you say if people ever see me live?
Yeah, I've talked about it on stage.
Oh, right.
Before.
I thought you meant like this cunt's clearly cutting his hair.
Yeah, I cut my hair live. If you've ever seen any of my showcases...
The Fringe show? That would be a fucking Fringe.
The Fringe.
Ah, shit. I didn't even think that.
So, yeah, I've done it for years. Two reasons. One, again, taking right back to our very first podcast, Ryan.
Yes.
I think haircuts cost too much for what happens.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I think the hourly rate. Now, I'm saying that as a comedian who we both get, frankly, farcical hourly rates for what we actually do on stage. We get massively overpaid.
We're like surgeons.
Yes, in an hourly rate, we're not that far. Dissecting the humour of society.
Yeah. Well, I think there would be no such thing as comedians, though, if you paid a regular wage, because we'd only work like...
Yeah, 20 minutes a night. Yeah.
yeah.
Plus, I mean, there's the argument of the travel and the writing that never gets paid for. Anyway.
And nowadays, all this shit.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So I don't like... It's not that I don't like. I've just never... That's a very, very small reason why I cut my own hair. The main reason is I am not very comfortable speaking to people.
Okay.
There's a great Jerry Seinfeld thing where he talks about he's just come off like fucking Madison Square Garden or something, and he goes in, he doesn't want to go to a party, and he's like that. I don't like speaking to people, and folk are like, "What the fuck you've just done to like 60,000 people?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "The thing is, I can speak to thousands of you, but I can't speak to one of you." Right. Okay. And that I hate small talk. I get so fucking uncomfortable with any small talk at all.
Right. Okay.
And that's all a haircut is.
Okay. Right. So you to avoid haircuts, you've been cutting your own hair.
Yes. Now the first couple of years weren't great.
Okay.
However, I have learned.
How do you do the back? Well, like
I do the back. I position my camera to film.
Okay.
And I've got a mirror as well.
Okay, so you gotta,
and it worked. Like I know how to do it now. It's a very, very simple haircut. It's very much up and down with the razors,
short back sides. And stuff.
Very, very simple. I tell you, one really bad time. I think I was opening for Sloss actually in Kirkcaldy, and this was when Sloss was properly taken off.
It didn't sound like it.
And I know, but this was like his first big, massive gig in Kirkcaldy. And it was when we lived in our old flat, me and Amy. And I was cutting my hair one afternoon. And if you ever use clippers, you put guards on.
Yep.
And different strength of guards, right? So normally it's an 8 on the top, right?
You have an 8 on the top,
An 8 on the top, right? Now, this day, I was just tired or something. I'd forgot to put the guard on, and I shaved into my head. And there was just a big, massive patch of no hair there.
Yeah.
And I panicked like I've never panicked before. And I phoned Amy at her work, and they were like, "This is actually in a meeting." And I was like, "Well, tell her this is an emergency." So she came out and went, "What's happened? What's happened?" And I was like, "You've no idea what's happened." She was like, "Oh my God, is it like who's like died? What the fuck?" And I was like, "I forgot to put the guard on." I was cutting my hair, and she just put the phone down on me, like as if like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, as she's right to do.
So then I'm panicking, right? So much went through my head. Right, I initially thought I'm going to glue it back on because it was sitting there in just a big patch. So I was like, I'm just going to glue this back on, right? And I was like, that's fucking ridiculous. I don't even know how I would do that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
My next one was I'll shade it in, right? So I thought if I can match a pen with But then I thought, no, because then there'll obviously be hair missing, and it'll just be, because it'll be the same colour. But if you get within 10 feet of me, you'll see there's a shade missing. My next thought was, I'll tell people I'm ill. I'll tell people I had an operation.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Did you cut your hair?
Yeah, I needed keyhole examination surgery in my brain for something, and that's why there was just one bit put out of it.
People are going to be real worried about you if they give it. Mostly probably your wife who would come home and see this and know what you've done. Yeah. And you're trying fake. Would you like to draw a red pen?
That was going to be my one. I sat on that for about an hour, and I was like, "This is the way." And then eventually, my conscience got to me, and I went, "No, you can't. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't explain to your family that."
Yes.
Oh no, right. You can't lie to them. So my only option was then to shave it all off.
Yeah.
And that's what I ended up doing.
Is that the one where you had the picture you look like?
I look like a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, look like a psychopath, like a Serbian.
Yeah, I do. I look like a Serbian
hooligan,
a real Serbian criminal. Actually,
yeah, not even a hooligan. Yeah, an actual criminal. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well, that's mental. That's another one of those things where you're going well out of your way to do something rather like the actual thing to do is way more simple.
Yeah.
Do you know, by the way, you want to feel better about yourself? You said the top is an 8 with your guard. Guess what my guard is? It's now no guard.
Aye,
but it used to be 0.2.
I didn't even know they went.
They have it.
I thought it went 0 to 1.
No, there's a 0.2 bad boy.
Wow.
Which is basically the one which is basically no guard. Aye. I realized when I was thinking, I was like, this is the no guard.
But do you not have that bobbly thing where you just run across your head? I've seen in adverts. Yeah.
I do now.
Yeah.
Like it's like looks like you're rubbing a fucking flower on your head. Like
it looks like one of those massagers you would get for.
I tell you what, it was great at the start, but when it slowly starts singing, you're like, you go like this, and there's like weird patches, and then you're like, you start going, you fucking.
Aye, have you done your balls with it?
No, I would never. I would be worried.
Aye, it would if it caught.
Yeah, oh Jesus Christ! It just ripped the skin.
Because it would just keep turning with the skin in it.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh, just ripping your skin off your balls.
Well, this is a fucking Halloween episode.
Jesus.
I'm going on a health kick. Not a health kick so much, but I'm dying.
Is that why you bought an air fryer?
I bought an air fryer. That's that's unrelated.
Yeah.
But well, it's okay for me because I have to eat more. So.
You've got to put on weight.
Yeah. So I was like, right, let's see if I can put on maybe like close to 2 stone by Christmas.
It's very easy.
I'm trying to do it in some way that I have to like go to the gym and everything.
Carlsberg.
Yeah. And like I've got this calorie counter, and you know what I did for the first day? I was like, let's see what my normal eating, how bad it is. It just divided up to how much protein, carbohydrates, and fats. But what do you think is the total overall?
Can I guess how many? Was it kilojoules? Kg? What is it?
Well, I'm just getting calories like
calories.
KCAL.
Oh yeah, kcals.
Kcals. You can tell neither of us have any history at all.
My favorite NHL team, the Pittsburgh Kcals. I would say, so the recommended for men is 2,000.
Yeah, and I'm on 2,700.
Right. I reckon beforehand you were topping in about 1,000.
I was about 1,000, nearly 1,200, but also none of it was good. As in, like, it was all topsy-turvy. They were like, there's a lot of fat here. There's literally no protein. I don't even know how you're doing this.
Aye.
Basically, when I did it, it said, you are starving to death, but you're also getting close to diabetes.
Yeah, that's aye. So, see, that's where you've got it more difficult. Like, with me to lose weight, which I need to do, I just need to I need to eat less calories than I burn off.
I think losing weight would be way harder than what I'm doing. Because like this is basically my bowels can't deal with it. I've got mixture of constipation and letting rip. I'm constantly panicking, going like
just on the line all the time.
My bowels are like, are we doing overtime? Because this is over twice the amount of food you usually eat.
But the thing is, because you've got to balance up like the proteins, the fats, the carbs, and stuff like that. I've watched guys online. There's a wee Irish guy on TikTok. Not TikTok, Instagram. He's fucking brilliant. And he basically debunks a load of shite. And he's like, I mean, it is literally like I could have. So if I was on a diet of like 1,000 calories a day, that's about a Big Mac meal.
Yeah.
I could just have that every day and still lose weight.
Yes. It wouldn't be
It's very difficult. You wouldn't be good. You wouldn't be in a good shape. You wouldn't be in. You wouldn't.
Yes, but
you wouldn't feel well.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel
Your
well.
Your bowels would be all fucked up, but you would technically lose weight because it's all the calories.
Imagine you loved it so much that was what you had to do. It's like, I can do this diet, but I have to have it all in one Big Mac at 4 p.m. every day.
Just one meal every day.
That'd be fucking grim.
Just set myself knife and fork it and everything. I put a wee bib on.
Yeah, if it's a delivery to any fuck, this is my one meal a day.
You know the way Denzel Washington eats in The Equalizer?
Oh,
where he folds up his wee hanky and brushes the spoon and all sorts of shit.
Equalizer 3, I like it here. He just says I like it here like 10 times. I really like it here. This is my new home. I want to horse that Italian waitress.
What have you made in your air fryer so far?
I made tacos.
Oh, nice.
So I put like the stuff in it. Then got annoyed. Not got annoyed, but I got impatient. I was like, I don't want to start putting it then into another bowl. So I started when it was nearly fully cooked, putting like marinating it and putting sauce in it, and then it came out unbelievable.
Oh, I think if you do it, if you know what you're doing with it, then it is a great thing.
I think I've been cooking a fair bit, so I feel like I got I've only done it once. I'll let you know if it goes absolutely terribly wrong.
My pal got one, and he was telling me. It was because his father-in-law kept hassling him. He was like, you need to get an air fryer.
Yeah.
You can make anything in it just for scratch.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think you can. And he's like, no, honestly, anything. And he was like, a fucking steak pie, just stick it in. And he's like, no, you can't. Like, that's literally, you can't put all the components of a steak pie in and it'll come out as the best fucking steak pie you'll ever taste in your life.
Yeah.
There has to be certain kind of things. But he was adamant. He was like, honestly, fucking anything, desserts, anything.
You can. I've seen it, and with the air fryer, they're like, "This is how you make desserts with it," but it's more like kind of like baking.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of, and you know, you have to do it a certain way and all that. You know, but
but for some things,
I don't think you could just chuck a goo pot in and go heat that up.
No, exactly. Whoa, good God!
Fucking pulling out the glass. When it first turned on, I was so paranoid because I thought there was a smell of it. You know, it's just brand new. First go around, I was like, did I leave a little bit of cardboard or plastic in it? And it's like
pen lid.
Yeah, pen lid. Did the whole fucking thing and just melted into. This chicken tastes weird. Sticking to my everything. I suppose, right, by the way, some people are asking, we'll probably be like, we're a bit late in the podcast today. And I did put in the Discord, like, the studio's up, so we're getting blah, blah, blah. But then we went in, and there is a huge elephant in the room, bar yourself. Mm-hmm. And but it's also your fucking arm here.
Yeah. Aye.
So I went to go to your house today.
Yeah.
Trains all got cancelled, and then you were like, I'll come to yours then. We'll do it later in the evening. And I go, all right, we're going to have to do that. And then I found out you're coming on the train.
Yeah.
As well. I would have just jumped on a later
trains
train.
are still fucked. But,
okay.
No, I've torn ligaments in my AC joint, which is it's the shoulder bit. Because I initially I'd read up on there, I thought it was rotator cuff. Which is quite a serious thing. Yeah, the quarterback.
They're a nightmare to heal, I believe, is the...
So it's not as bad as that. It's the wee joint in between the shoulder and the rotator cuff.
Still.
But it's just torn. And I don't know, it's a culmination, because remember I was talking about how it was really sore when I was putting Seamus up on my shoulders and taking him off. That will have aggravated it.
I would say so, yes.
I talked to the doctor and she was like, what have you been doing? And I was like, right, here's what I've been doing in my house, right? I've been swinging a fucking sledgehammer at fireplaces, right? She was like, right, that's not helped.
Yeah.
Have you been doing any repetitive stuff? I was like, I've painted 3 rooms. She's like, right, that's a repetitive, constant thing. And then it went in my sleep. And that's where... I don't know. And the terrible indictment of your age when you can't even fucking sleep without injuring yourself. Like,
I always think shoulders are cunt because they're never fully right, ever.
No.
After. And they're
great, thanks, Ryan.
So now that you've tweaked it, that's going to be the bane of your life forever. So when you're ever getting down, no matter what you do, basically, no matter how much money you pump into it, no matter what drugs, what exercises, it'll never be right again.
My quarterback dreams are done.
Yeah, they're gone. They're done.
Someone sent a friend of ours, Taylor, sent me a video today because I was doing so. This happened. This had been kind of twinging for a while, and then I woke up on Tuesday last week and it was no, because we recorded on Tuesday. It was Wednesday. I woke up and I couldn't move my arm.
Yeah.
Like I can't move this arm any higher than like that, which is tough.
Why?
Being a Nazi, it's not.
Fuck off. Ah.
No, but generally I can't lift it higher than
Why?
that.
Just something.
Just because it physically won't move. Like it's not
because of that size.
The thing's not. My arm isn't strong enough to put that up. So we went away for a couple of days with the kids because it was the holidays, and by that point I couldn't get to the doctor, so I just loaded myself up with painkillers and shit, and then got like heat pads and deep heat and all that kind of. Which are fucking amazing. Like, how good you sleep if you've got a heat pad on you.
Yeah.
And then I came back to the doctor and she told me everything, and then she was like, right, this is what you need to do. This is a physio. Don't do anything with it for a week.
Okay.
And then, but I had monkey barrel that night, right? So I was like, well,
can't do it.
Like I can't drive.
Yeah. That's a whole hassle. It was a Sunday too, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was a Monday. Oh no, the Sunday I pulled out because I'd gone down to open for Milo in Manchester.
It got
and
so bad.
I then had to get, because I had stuff on in the morning, I then got a bus home that night, and sitting like that all night, it just got so much more sorer, and there was a storm that night, so it looked like trains were going to get cancelled. I couldn't drive, so I was like, fucking. But hosting in Monkey Barrel, I was like, well, if I just hold, because I can hold a mic like that, I can hold that, and I'll just take the mic out of my left hand. And I didn't realise until they sent the video through what I look like, right? So I'm fucking standing like the whole time like that, right? Like a fucking Kaiser Soze.
That's good.
Half like fucking verbal Kent the whole fucking time, right?
Like virgin on the front row.
So this is how I'm competing, right? Trying to establish any kind of authority, whereas I look like a fucking gimp, right? And then I was bringing Laura Lex on, and for some fucking reason, right? You know how if you're coming on at Monkey Barrel, you come on from the sound desk?
Yeah.
Right? Laura decided to come over from the other side.
That's a curveball.
Right. So I'm going, right, ladies and gentlemen, ready for the first act? Break up. Big, massive hand for the awesome Laura Lex. And then I look over to there and I don't see her. And I knew she wasn't at the venue when I was first going on. So I was like, maybe she's not fucking here. So I'm like that, looking at that. She's fucking come round like that.
Up behind you.
And then... But she's almost like confused as to why the fuck I'm not leaving the stage as well. So I'm standing there with a gimpy arm, fucking like that, looking around as if I'm waiting for a carer to take me off.
And Laura Lex comes up, he's like, oh my God.
I know.
Did she come up behind you going like, you can go now, Mark?
Yeah, basically, almost like kind of tapped me and went, off you go. She didn't say off you go, but it was like,
off you go,
right,
that's
your time done. Fuck off.
That's so funny.
So Taylor sent me that. Taylor's her agent, and she sent me that today going, my God, look at your masterful MC skills. And I was like, fuck you. And then I came off to Stu Murphy, and he was like that, I think we should all come on at different bits. And I was like, that would be so funny. Like if one of them fucking Liam Payne'd it from the fucking roof. Like just...
Were you Elizabeth Fritzl? Were you
up from the
flap behind your legs? And like, okay. Whereabouts is Robin Granger? Slowly coming up behind you.
It's very funny.
Laura Lex is great.
Yeah. It was a good weekend. Right.
You know as well, did I have something else to say? I didn't actually, fuck it. I was about to say go to a chiropractor, but apparently they rape you in molest you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the people that have messaged into the Discord to let me know that they've been to chiropractors for years. If you know what I'm talking about, I visited a chiropractor that kept lying on top of me and stuff.
Yeah.
And apparently I have been molested. apparently it's an open and shut case. According to many, he's like, that isn't what they do. There
was one other thing I meant to tell you. I was going to save it for the Patreon bit, but we're going to put out a different special Patreon thing this week and next week.
Yeah.
Do you know one of the weirdest shoulder injuries? I just remembered it today. A friend of mine told me, the gay dude, right, and that's not me just saying this, that prefaces he was telling me that he heard a guy he knows, right, one night was out and ended up going back to a hotel room with one of the dancers from Dancing on Ice.
Okay.
Right? Big fucking massive fella, right? big graceful fucking gazelle, right?
Yeah.
They go back to a hotel room, right? And what they're doing, Ryan, is I like to think I've partied in certain ways, right? I think if this happened, I'd have to excuse myself and go, I'm out of my fucking league here.
Okay.
Licking their fists and then shoving up an arse. And no, licking their fists, dipping it in Coke, and then shoving it up an arse.
No. For some reason, I know that's cool.
That is cool, but it's extreme.
It is
like
extreme.
That's Diddy level party shit. Like
I feel like I would have to be one of the fisters on that one. Like, I'm not going.
Really?
I'm not going near that bony arse. We're not going to get up that.
But so this is what they were. This was the thing they were planning, right? The guy licked his fist, dipped it in, shoved it up the dancer's arse. The dancer wasn't expecting it.
What do you mean wasn't expecting? I feel like
they hadn't discussed it beforehand. This wasn't a thing. Like, this was just right. Shoved it up the guy's arse. He was so surprised he jumped off the bed and took him with him.
Oh,
dislocated his shoulder. Imagine getting dragged off
where your
bed man arse.
Like a cowboy that's been shot that's stuck onto the back of the horse. Hand out the arse running down the corridor.
One of the best stories I've ever heard.
And then the guy's slowly getting high as well.
I know.
Trying to get the guy out.
I'm in such pain, but also cringy. I'm in such pain, but let me tell you about my screenplay.
You'd be coming down. You'd be coming down to the reception going to be like, "What? I know this happens all the time."
Yeah.
Really?
Cook up the arse, jump off the bed.
Like, oh, it's Terry again. It's happened again. Left shoulder this time.
Fucking insane.
That is possibly the most spectacular of the injuries I have. Heard of.
Yeah. Awesome.
Right. So I was about to say, before this, you know what we'll do? Do you want to do, before we talk about Scream, do you want to do we'll draw out what we're doing for the Halloween special?
Oh, yes.
Very quickly.
So for Patreon this week, what we're going to do is we're going to do our pilot episode. We're going to release our pilot episode. It's not about a film.
We just wanted to see if we could talk to each other in a podcast setting. Yeah,
we recorded, it's about an hour. And it was recorded at Monkey Barrel Studios, and it was the day before we were going to go to Vegas.
Okay,
that's what I remember that vividly. So we're going to release that. Again, very little about films, but it's just...
Yeah, it's my financial Patreon episode's perfect for it.
Yeah.
And then we're doing a full episode extra next week, like a Halloween one for the Patreon people, but we're going to choose one of the films they have. By the way, again, if you're listening, you will get the exact same shit you get all the time.
Yeah.
I hate when you used to get that in the other podcast. They're like, I can't believe you're doing that behind the paywall thing. And you're just like, I got one person. I'm asking, like, there was loads. And I was just like, but you get the same thing as you've always had, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah. you'll get like, if you everyone will get everything, but the Patreon stuff you'll only get if you're Patreoned up.
Patreon up, and thank you for all this joined. We're closing in on like 90 now.
Yeah, it's awesome. So if we could get to 100 by the Halloween.
That's 100 by Halloween.
And then Halloween, obviously, because this is our first Halloween episode this week, which is my choice. And then next week's Ryan's choice, and we will be in costume.
Yes,
again next
by
week.
the way, I'm very excited about my costume, and I never have been in my life.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, if you want to know how bad it is, I got it on Vinted.
Yes.
Right.
Amazing.
So I've basically taken. So a lot of people like in the Discord asked for like loads of different films, like had 10, 15 each, but I thought that was unfair for the people. So I've chosen one off each person. Do you know? So eventually we have 1, 2, 3.
So how are we
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Right.
So
Do you know what I'll do?
A random number between 1 and 12.
I'll put. All right.
I've randomly written them down in a list.
All right. Okay.
So I can either ask you, because you don't know this.
I'm going to random number generator it.
Right. Between 1 and 12.
Because then you can tell us what is in the running.
Yeah. So again, there was like 20. Do you want me to ask?
So between 1 and 12.
Yes. Do you want me to tell them beforehand what we have to go for? Because you'll get annoyed, I reckon, if we get 1, and then you'll be like, oh.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I know what number it is, but tell us what is in the. Do you want me to tell you the number first?
Let's do that.
Right, okay.
So 1 and 12.
Number 11.
The number 11 is Stephen Riley, and this is a good one. Stephen Riley's It Follows.
Oh, that is a good one.
That was a good one.
That is a good choice.
I'm glad with that. Now that is a pretty good one. Now,
That's
Stephen,
a strong horror film.
Stephen Riley, It Follows. I have seen that years ago. I'd love to watch it again because it's
Good
a
work,
fucking
Stephen.
belter. Do you want to see some of the other ones, right? So we had Nathan given The Descent. Someone called Slawhanner. The Descent. I love this. Decent. The Descent. Killer Clowns Out of Space was the next one.
Nice.
I think I've seen a bit of that before. Someone had Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a Christmas film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would have counted.
Sid, give me this. The Purge.
Nice.
We had Nightmare on Elm Street. That would have been a great one. We had The Velocipaster. Which will have to be done.
We're going to do that anyway.
Yeah. We had Halloween coming up. We had Cabin in the Woods. We had Babadook.
Nice.
And we had Birds. And we had Psycho.
They're all strong.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's... Yes.
There's no shite there.
There was no shite there. I mean, like, some people obviously put in, like, a load of ones and then think. But It Follows is a belter choice.
Yeah, that's really good.
So that's what's going to be the thing that'll do it next week.
Right, so that'll be the bonus episode next week. This week, we are doing my scary movie choice, which is originally titled Scary Movie.
What?
It was originally titled
Was
Scary
that what
Movie.
It was actually? It makes sense too.
Scream.
It does make sense, in fairness.
It was called Scary Movie up until, like weeks before it was released.
And they just
I can't remember why they called it Scream, because I always thought, right, here's a thing, right, here's one of my I'll leave it, do you know what, I'll leave that for the trivia facts.
Okay, right. Well, the trivia is,
did you enjoy?
Look, yes, I've seen, I'll tell you this before a thing about Scream. I when I was a kid, I used to watch horror films. I watched The Exorcist when I was about 7, 8. Right, I watched all this thing. Nightmare on Elm Street spooked me out. It was only like 2 when I was a kid. Nightmare on Elm Street freaked me out when I was about 10 years old. And the other one was Scream when I was like 11. For some fucking reason, Scream did get to me. I've seen like what would people I would say technically would think is scary films, but whatever reason, I remember watching it with my cousins and going like, oof.
Yeah.
Look, it did get to me as a kid. I watched it again. I give it a harsh rating on Letterboxd for a couple of reasons, but I feel like I've done the wrong way. I've woken up and want to change it.
Right.
You know? So, like, there's so much, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
There's so much stupid shit that I couldn't stop laughing. So I wanted to be harsh on it, but really, I really enjoyed it. I love, like, I'm not saying anything. I loved it.
The problem with it is, right, and rewatching this with this kind of eye now.
Exactly. It's exactly. You're changing your eye.
I don't know if it is stupid shit, because it is so self-referential, and I hate the term meta. I don't know if it is being ridiculous to be ridiculous.
It definitely is, because
it's a satire of horror films.
Yeah, it is. Even calling it Scary Movie would have made more sense than Scream.
There is one particular bit where I went. First of all, and we'll get to this.
Yeah.
Some of the decisions made by every character, including the killer, are so nonsensical.
I don't want to be harsh, because this is just literally, they've even made it like, what a stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
That's what they do in every horror
exactly.
film. So I don't want to be harsh on that, but some of them are.
There's one scene, right, where Rose McGowan is sent from the party to get beers from the garage.
Yes.
And she goes in there, and she has quite possibly the hardest nipples I have ever seen in my life.
I never noticed.
They're insane. Like, they enter the garage about 3 days before she does.
I didn't even fucking... I don't know why I'm like, how did I clock it? How did I not clock it?
And I was kind of sitting there going, this is obviously a decision.
Yes.
It's not a natural thing that's happened, right? It's not like, well, fucking McGowan, you can't get McGowan without the nipples, right?
Yeah.
So it's obviously been a directorial decision. So it's
great if you looked at it, it was the same director that does Friends with Jennifer
Aniston.
Aniston.
Yeah. But so Wes Craven has obviously... Now, I would like to think, because he seems like a fairly intelligent dude, Wes Craven, in any interviews I've seen.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of his films. So I think this is a case of going, right, we're making a satire of a slasher film. Of course, the... if you like, bimbo character would obviously have noticeable jugs going into the garage.
Yes, okay, right.
It was just that was the one that stuck out for me, where I went, this knows exactly what it's fucking doing.
Yeah,
all the
okay,
time.
right, yeah. It set a precedent.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting that in the movie Babel.
I want to pick.
It's one of my least favorite films. But anyway, we'll get into that some other day. That's very funny. Now, let's even stick to that scene because that's probably one of the most iconic deaths, right? First of all, we're just going to jump between this movie because it's all over the place in a funny way, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to even do this even in a line, right?
We could do it. You know what? I was thinking of a way we could do this because I think we need to split it into. We need to talk. We need to have a whole section about the opening 12 minutes, which is like the greatest opening scene.
It's great.
It's certainly the greatest opening scene in any horror film. One of the greatest opening scenes of any film ever.
Yeah.
And I would say if we take it by character.
Let's do that.
Right.
Okay, right.
Right. So we'll do her first.
Barrymore.
Tatum. No, we'll do.
Or do Rose.
We'll do Rose McGowan.
Right, Rose McGowan. Right. So, right, and I'm going to get into this because like the killer. The thing about this film is the killer is like a fucking idiot, you know, or whatever, both of them. They're fucking idiots.
Ghostface Killer!
Yeah, I love Ghostface Killer. But, yeah, Ghostface Killer's Wu-Tang, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that must have been after this.
That must be what it would be. So I'm the one that murders Ghostface.
What year did
Wu-Tang?
6 Chambers come out?
96, maybe?
So this is 96.
Oh, right. So bang around them.
So, interesting.
Surely
he must be named after.
But they would have been out. I'm pretty sure Wu-Tang would have been out earlier than that. I don't know.
Wu-Tang were definitely.
I don't know if Ghostface Killer joined them by then.
Aye.
Anyway,
besides the point.
But do you know, like Rose McGowan, right? So she, right? The killer, obviously, the one thing that would stop that. Say, if I was like the police giving like a PSA to everyone, I would be like, well, the one thing that seems to be stopping Ghostface is various types of doors. He really struggles with doors, basic doors, your standard door.
Yeah.
He's falling over them. He's throwing them in. Rose McGowan opens a fridge door and hits him and completely clotheslines him with it, which is ridiculous, right? Then she gets up and throws a bottle of beer and smashes it, and then throws one and hits him in the dick, right? Then she gets in the cat flap when there's a perfectly good human flap, right? No. But she gets in the cat flap, and he like he raises the garage while she's in it, and she gets jammed up in the gears, right? But when I watched that, I was just like, that's 1-1.
Yeah.
Would you hit him in the dick with a beer bottle and then chuck the thing? I mean, he had the knife, so she was running. I was like, that's 1-1.
Even if I wasn't a psychopath and someone threw a beer bottle in my dick, you're still going in the garage door and getting hung from it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I kind of watched that go 1-1. Rose has got you there.
There's a lot of that. I don't think the garage would close like that. There must be some safety mechanism in the garage where it goes.
Jammed.
Aye, it must jam because it's now carrying a human.
I feel like the worst. I don't think it would lift.
No, it probably wouldn't. No,
yeah,
it would jam.
Rose McGowan would presumably quite light.
Oh, she would be light, but still.
And then her nipples are going to score the front of the garage.
Sparks flying off the ground. One thing I will say, I don't think I've ever seen a villain get the shit kicked out of him as much.
Well,
in this.
Yeah, it really does. It is quite funny.
He takes a lot of hits. A hell of a lot of hits.
Yeah, he takes a lot of hits. Then they hit each other when they find out there's two of them. There's one part where Matthew Lillard is bleeding out and he hits him in the back of the head with a phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
And again, I'm going to talk about the police, Woodsboro? Is that?
Woodsboro, yeah.
The Woodsboro Police Department's approach to all this.
Yes.
When they are, so the day after Drew Barrymore and her boyfriend get slaughtered, and they are in the school interrogating all the students.
Yeah.
I would think that, regardless of, I don't know whether it was Billy or Stu who were the killer, or both of them at Drew Barrymore's house. At one point they get thrown through a window. They get fucking smashed in the face.
Yeah.
Right? I would think they would be showing some kind of signs of wear and tear, the two of them. It's not a particularly robust costume.
No, it isn't.
I think if I'd been thrown through a plate glass window...
They sell them everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You'd think, right, who are we looking for here? Oh, it's that guy that's face is scarred to fuck.
Yeah.
Because
Defense
last
marks.
night he was thrown through a window.
I mean, that's right. Like, he did. He chucked him through the fucking window, and then he came out through the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the changeovers too.
Yeah.
It was really bad. You knew he was obviously the killer the whole way through. You know that they were in. What? Right. Well, you know the guy Billy, was it?
Billy.
Right.
Skeet Ulrich.
Oh, is that who that is?
That's
Sorry.
Skeet Ulrich.
Right.
Yeah.
You know the guy that's like, I was in jail. It couldn't have been me.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you knew he was a psychopath when the part where he went like, you've not been as horny since your man died. I was like, well, there's the killer.
That's one of my. I've got like 5 questions for you at the end.
Okay, right, great, beautiful.
I mean, Skeet Ulrich is basically in it because he looks like Johnny Depp.
He does look like Johnny Depp. I actually genuinely.
There's so many mirroring scenes that mirror what Johnny Depp did in Nightmare on Elm Street, like climbing through the window.
Okay, right.
And now I don't know any other film that Skeet Ulrich is in.
I don't know him. Yeah.
No idea.
No.
I don't think he's all right in this.
Oh, he's fine.
He's horny. He's a hot. There are a
He's
lot of horny people, but he's horny as
Yeah.
fuck.
That was pretty fucked up that he, started shagging her then, and then was like, it was me.
Yeah. See, that's a weird thing, right? Because no, I'll keep that for the end.
Yeah.
Right? So Drew Barrymore.
Yeah.
Which obviously the full thing about is the fact that she was in the poster and was the main star.
Good.
And then they killed her within 12 minutes. So the whole idea was you would spit there going, fuck, anything could happen in this film now.
It's good. It's a good way to do it.
It's a proper Hitchcock thing that he did with Psycho.
Yes.
And Janet Leigh.
Yeah.
But that opening scene's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Utterly phenomenal. It makes no sense.
You know, the only one I think comes close to it horror-wise is the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, that is good with the wee kid.
The 2005, and the panning camera
That
around the neighborhood. I think that's the only one where I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, even some of it was stupid, but I was like, this is
that looks really good as well.
A heavy-duty intro. This is just about that level. Yeah,
this is proper iconic.
Yes,
like from all the lines, like the.
Yeah.
I want to play a game. Would you like scary movies? All that kind of fucking.
Yeah.
But again, like, why keep answering the phone?
Yeah. It's
the third time you go, it's going to be that fucking weirdo again.
Yeah.
So there's no need for it. Why is every door open in that house?
Yeah.
It's just to lock about 6 fucking doors.
He's running around, shutting the chalet doors.
Why did they live in the middle of nowhere?
Well, you can't abuse people for living in the countryside.
No, I'm not saying that, but like, I don't know where this is set. Like,
oh right, yeah, it's small.
And
yeah.
Why? I never really understood when you find out the plan all along was that Billy and Stu were going to do it on the anniversary of Neve Campbell's mum's death, who they also killed. Why the fuck is everyone? Why is Drew Barrymore getting killed? What's she got to do with any of this?
Oh yeah.
Is it to set up the dad as being a psycho that he's gone about? But this is like days before the anniversary, which is supposed to be the big day when everyone dies. There's no need to kill her and her boyfriend.
They just needed a little setup.
Yeah, it's just
stupid. Yeah. They just had to make the film make sense.
I mean, it's a brutal. Both of them suffer brutal deaths.
Well, like, first of all, right. See, so. It would be quite funny if, he took a random target and goes, "You want to play a game?" Started asking questions, right? But he was like hunting someone, like one of the guys from The Chase, or and he just nailed every question.
The Beast came in.
The Beast, they were rigging the Beast, and he was answering questions within a second. He's like,
"Fuck, I've come to the wrong house." Shit.
And also, we're going to need a bigger knife.
That tree's not going to hold this fat cunt.
That's so bad. He's not going to hold this gun. Yeah, there is quite a lot of. First of all, they stab someone to bits and then hang them up on a tree, and all do it within the 3 minutes while the parents in the house. It's
brutal when the two brutal bits, because I forgot how.
It's graphic. It was quite graphic. The guts.
Yeah, the guts spilling out of both of them.
Yeah,
and I forgot when she sees her mum and dad coming in, and she tries to call for them, but because she's been stabbed.
Yeah, it's through like,
and then when he's dragging her away and she's still on the phone, so they get to hear her gasping her last breaths.
Oh
Jesus Christ! This is horrible.
Yeah. Good.
Because I thought when you were talking about being scared as a kid, right? I saw this. when I was 15, right? And I remember it very, very vividly because it was one of those nights where I felt like I'd properly become a teenager, and I felt quite cool that night because it had come out, and this was by the point of high school where all the kind of real popular cunts had failed stuff and had left school.
Okay.
So then all us other folk then rose up to be like the main folk, right? And I remember watching this at a girl who I fancied house with my pal and 3 other girls, and we stayed over as well.
Oh my God.
So me, my pal, and 4 girls sitting there watching a horror film.
Like,
I was like, this is a night to remember, my boy.
At 15 years old, you're like, yeah, this is the greatest night of all time.
And it was, and I've remembered it ever since. But Seamus is obsessed with this film.
Oh, really?
He's never seen it, but he's obsessed. He's got that wee kid thing that I had as well. I'm obsessed with horror films because I can't quite grasp how bad it can be.
Okay.
I don't really want to find out how bad it is.
Yes.
But the interest in how bad things can be, I'm like, oh my God, I need to see this.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah.
And I was talking to Amy about whether I would show them, my kids, this film. Now, I don't think this is as scary as something like Nightmare on Elm Street.
It shouldn't be. I don't think so. I don't find slashers even remotely scary at all anymore. It was just for whatever reason that time. I was quite shocked. I remember it going like, why was I scared of Scream compared to all the other shit I saw? Like Nightmare on Elm Street freaked me out. I remember Bad Reason. I remember even being the third one. But
the thing is, right, it should be scarier. The reason I don't think it's as scary is because of all those kind of things, like The Exorcist, The Omen, Nightmare on Elm Street, they're all otherworldly or like satanic type things, right?
Yeah.
Those are unexplainable.
Yeah.
Like supernatural stuff, right? This is just a psychopath.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't find that as scary, but that should be way scarier.
Yeah.
Because this could happen.
A
Freddy Krueger, a Freddy Krueger couldn't happen.
I'm on my way. You see me, man. Look, I know what you say because I don't know. Do I get more freaked out about things that could happen? I think a paranormal does freak me out more. Slasher films never freak me out. No, not really. Because do you know what I think it is? It's because it's just stabbing.
Yeah.
They're just stabbed.
You see that?
Yeah.
You'll have seen that growing up anyway.
I was like, these cunts are just being stabbed.
Yeah.
I mean, the cat flap,
probably Protestants.
I'll tell you what, if I was stabbing a Protestant, I wouldn't do it with 2 hands on the knife with a big leaping. Nobody stabs like
No, I know.
And driving it downwards. Yeah. And then they go, oh, I can't believe I missed.
His frame of attack is terrible.
Yeah. I don't think he's practiced.
No.
I don't know how you would.
And they've had a year.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have potato bags.
See, one thing I didn't understand. See, when you find out that it was both them that killed Neve Campbell's mum. Neve Campbell or Neve Campbell?
Neve, I was going to call her.
Neve.
No idea.
Neve Campbell, right?
I don't think it's Neve, is it?
I think it's Neve.
I'm going to say Neve Campbell.
Because I was obsessed with Neve Campbell.
Really?
She was one of my first massive crushes.
No.
Huge.
How?
Huge fan. Oh my God. When I was, again, 15, good God almighty.
Okay, well, I suppose that's...
I don't... Right, I get...
Henry Winkler for me, by the way.
Fucking wait till we talk about Winkler. The stuff... So Billy Loomis as well.
Billy Loomis. He's still in the later ones.
Yes.
He's not in it. But
he's relatives.
Legacy.
Yeah. He kills Neve Campbell's mum because she was shagging about the whole town, by the way.
Seems like it, yeah.
And didn't look like a...
Shouldn't look like a gore.
Slut.
Shouldn't look like a gore.
Look like a normal maw.
Yeah. But they're the worst.
Well, that's who gets you.
If yours is anything to go by.
So I get why he killed her, because he blames her because she was shagging his dad and that's what made her mum leave.
Yeah.
Why rape her?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's constantly
When in
saying
Rome.
they raped. Fuck's sake, Jesus Christ. Maybe the worst thing that's been said in this.
I apologise gratefully for my words.
We have been borderline racist. We've been very disrespectful to the elderly, the disabled community.
But
and that's the worst thing. I also don't get Matthew Lillard's motivation in any of this.
He just seems to be a maniac. Yeah.
I think he's just a psychopath.
And that probably just... I think that probably also feeds into the thing you were talking about there, the rape. They're just psychopaths.
Aye. I found him a bit of a pain in the arse in this.
Yeah, I'm pain in the arse in most films, to be honest.
See, I like him as...
So a lot of people really... Oh, you know
I like him as Shaggy.
He's a good Shaggy, definitely.
Yeah.
I would never take that. He is. Do you know what he used to be in? Oh, God. Is it Punk SLK or... Punk CK? It is not. I keep saying CM Punk in my head, but that's the fucking wrestler MMA dude. But anyway, it's a good film. It's like a little indie film about it. Punk rockers running around. But he was a good one. He was great in that.
I don't like the overacting in this. It never bothered me until I watched it last night.
We're obviously watching this shit through do you know what? I don't even think we're that harsh on films in this. I think we actually have enjoyed more than
listen, I love this film. I love this film.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. Like, so we are tearing a bit, but this isn't a bad film, but it was just...
No.
There is so much stupid
I just find
shit.
him a real pain. The whole tongue out half the fucking time. He seems to be... He's a slaverer. There seems to be a lot of fucking... saliva in his mouth all the time.
A slabber.
A slabberer, yeah.
He's a fucking slabber.
Like the dog in Beethoven.
Yes. He give you some like
Beethoven, I think his name is.
Beethoven. Fuck's sake.
I do believe that's the chap's name.
What's that movie Bob Marley One Love about? What dude? What dude's that about?
But they're not good killers. Do you know when you realise they aren't good fucking killers? Mm-hmm. When you see them creeping about in bushes, and then you see them in the reflection of the fridge in the fucking supermarket. Why is the silly cunt going about in the costume in broad daylight in the supermarket, for fuck's sake?
I reckon that's him.
Like so ridiculous.
Well, is it because they think that maybe it might be... Because remember there was a person dressed up as one running down the corridor?
Oh, I suppose, yeah. So they kind of blend into just the ridiculousness of... But he is carrying a knife during that as well.
Yes. You would be probably... In America, you'd be shot.
Yes. Yeah, there's not much shooting for an American high school.
Yeah, we'll get on to the police's approach to this, which is what my letterbox review is. You know.
Right, okay. Do you think... My problem with the police, right, they don't do a good job. And I think they don't do a good job because David Arquette is the deputy.
Yes.
And he's borderline special needs.
He is. And that's why they made him that in Scary Movie, isn't it? Yeah, because he...
I mean, he is. And you kind of go, what is the standard of policing in Woodsboro that he's managed to get to second in command? Like, how shite
probably better
are
than
the rest
actual
of them?
Because there's no black people immediately shot in the fucking front porch. Holding a pumpkin. That's a grenade.
But it just...
it's a nightmare.
He's a moron.
Yeah, he is. And he keeps leaving his post in the exact worst moment to try and finger blast Courtney Cox. Yeah. And they did in real life too, didn't they?
Yeah, they got married off the back of this.
They didn't finger blast. They got married, whatever.
Bizarre fucking life David Arquette had. Because he did this, and then he became quite a big star.
Is he... Wait a minute, I just realised. Is he anything to do with Patricia Arquette?
I don't know, actually. It's a good point. Look it up.
Look it up. Keep going, though.
So he went from this, and then Hollywood loved him, and he did loads of shit. He married Courtney Cox when she was at her absolute pinnacle in Friends. Then, I don't know if you know this, then won the WCW title.
What?
David Arquette has held the WCW title. I think, I swear.
That's fucking insane.
In the same way that I'm fairly certain Donald Trump has won the WWF title.
Oh,
it's just one of those angles.
I know. All right, but that's...
Did David Arquette...
Yeah, so there's a couple here. So Patricia Arquette's siblings. Rosanna Arquette, also... Rosanna Arquette, 65. David Arquette, brother.
Ah.
So there you go. I didn't know that. David Arquette and Patricia Arquette. It just kind of came to me, the names. Alexis Arquette, look at that for a fucking head. She died.
Oh,
She's dead. Who else? And then the parents too. They have wait a minute, spouses. Oh, no, that's not what we want. And Richmond Arquette. Oh God, this guy was known for the Zodiac. He's in the Zodiac. Richmond Arquette. So there's 4 of them, and they're all actors.
fucking hell.
I mean, two of them did well.
Like the Baldwins.
Yes, yeah. Stephen Baldwin, my least favorite of the Baldwins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are also one of Baldwin. Ryan Baldwin.
Ryan the Baldwin. Star Wars character. Yeah.
No, on you go.
My problem with the priest, and it is this, right? So there's a mass serial killer. Well, not really. They say he's killed a couple, right? So there's a serial killer who's wandering around people's homes and murdering them in their own homes. And the police's only enforcement, somehow there's no DNA. They were like, they're clean.
Oh, they never even check.
I'm like, are you sure? Because his forehead's probably in every door.
Even when they find the mask, they're all handling it.
Yeah, they're all like,
they fucking found this. Like,
yeah. Ooh, there's hair in it.
Yeah.
Blowing it away, right? And then he goes, right. So this guy's coming around. He's murdering people in their own homes, and the police were just like, well, what we're going to do this is we're going to imply a curfew where everyone has to stay in their own homes, providing optimal conditions.
Yes.
For this killer.
Yeah. He's not an outside killer, is he?
No, I did no. God,
there's very, very little happens outside.
No.
It's mostly home-based killings.
Yeah, and they're like, well, stay in your house.
Yeah.
What you would have done there is went everyone in the community centre.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
But then
we'll chat
also,
this out for a night.
Also, everyone stay in their house. We're going to impose a curfew, but we are going to allow this massive party to happen. Where all of the potential victims are going to attend.
Yes.
And we'll even go as further than that. One of the deputies will turn up, witness the party, jokingly tell a guy off for drinking a beer, and then leave to try and get his end away with Monica from Friends.
And what's not only drastic about that is, for some reason, the news reporter, she hasn't said anything like, hey, guys, I know you're trying to bang in all this here, Courtney, but I think it's a wee bit weird that the journalist would have a live camera feed into this party sitting room.
Yeah.
That's highly illegal.
Yeah.
Journalism-wise, the law-wise,
Yeah.
every way, you know.
I feel sorry for Kenny, the cameraman. I don't think he deserved to die. He's already been abused for being fat most of the time.
Jesus, we can get your lard.
Your tub of lard ass.
Lard ass. Yeah. So basically, I think Courtney, as much as there's bad police, she's also possibly like, that's Piers Morgan level stuff.
Yeah.
You know, where she is filming youngsters in their houses and abusing, fat-shaming her employee, the one person that's doing everything for her.
Do you know who one of the... this leads me on to my facts.
Yes, give me some facts.
Do you know who one of the the other journalists hanging outside the school was?
No.
A cameo from Linda Blair from The Exorcist.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. Facts.
I want some facts.
The use of caller ID in America increased more than threefold after the release of this film.
Oh.
That's a good one.
That's great. I enjoy that. That's cool. When you've done something horror-wise that has clearly affected enough people that really change it.
That's a sign of something that's really gone into society.
I bet you Wes Craven knows that and loves that.
I've already done the fact that it was originally titled Scary Movie, which then became the what are they called? Not parody, the spoof.
Not that. Right. You can't say that anymore.
Yeah. Not what to call them that anymore. Right. Billy Loomis. Yeah. It's called Loomis because...
He's got Loomis disease?
No, that's the name of the doctor. It's the name of Michael Myers, psychiatrist in Halloween.
Ah, nice.
So
enjoy
the fan theory is that he's Dr. Loomis's grandson that's come back. Another one that I find...
most recent Scream, by the way.
Yeah.
Like fucking, we call that...
Proper remake thing.
Mousy woman.
Many?
Mousy kind of face on her. Noise as shit. Jenna Ortega.
Oh, Jenna Ortega, yeah.
The Beetlejuice one, right? Or the new one. Yeah, her. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's way better than I thought it was going to be.
I thought it was all right.
Like, I wouldn't say it's brilliant, but it's way better than I thought it was going to be when it was like, you're turning on like Scream.
It's not as good as this. I don't even think it's as good as Scream 2.
No.
The guy who plays the sheriff So
What
David
chef?
Arquette's
Oh yes,
senior,
yes. The chef.
right?
I thought
He
the chief.
plays the chief. He plays a regular cop in Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh, cool.
right?
Enjoy this.
So the backstory is that this cop was so upset by the events in Elm Street that he moved half the way across the country to this small town in California,
And look what he's
became
at.
the sheriff, and now this shit's going down.
Great. He's like, fuck this, I'm going to the city, and then 9/11.
Again, I've said the things I love when directors. I don't love when the directors abuse their cast, but I like when directors do mental fucking shit to get a performance out of them.
I think it's a delicate balance, especially nowadays.
Yes.
With I think that because it is cool, and I know that some actors would love it and appreciate it, and then you get the wrong actor, and it's a fucking like a court case, like that, you know.
Well, Wes Craven, to keep Drew Barrymore in a constant state of panic, unrest,
This is gonna be good.
and terror,
Just kept giving her phone
because she was a massive animal rights activist. In between takes, would show her videos of animals being mistreated.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
And then would just like, so she'd be sitting there going, and he'd be like, fucking roll cameras.
That's so funny. We just have a 5-minute break, and he's like, okay, we're shooting in 30. He's like, hey Drew, come here, look at this. And it's just like somebody stomping out a fox's head.
I know.
Setting a guinea pig on fire.
And
She's
the
like,
last two are about the costume, which is it's a cool killer mask and costume. Like, it's well up there with Myers and Halloween.
I don't think it is.
Right, okay.
But it's definitely, it's probably more famous. Is that what you mean by this?
I think it's very iconic. I think
It's definitely iconic.
Still a very, very popular Halloween costume.
Yeah, but it just looks like a melted ghost.
It does.
And
But
I
I always thought the reason
on.
it was called Scream was because
It
the
looked
mask
like
was based on the painting Edvard Munch's Scream. But it's not, because it was always called Scary Movie.
Oh, that's odd.
And they already had the mask, so it's just a happy coincidence that... And the mask was found in when they were scouting locations. They just found the mask in one of these houses that were scouting, and they went, what about this? And they went, fucking yes, we'll use that. So it was just something somebody had hanging about their house. Just a happy accident. The best
That's
one.
fucking wild.
This is the best one, right? So I'm just going to read this verbatim. During production, Ghostface's signature black robe was going to be white to make him appear even more like a ghost. This was changed after testing audiences compared the costume to those that the Ku Klux Klan wear.
That's so good. Oh my God, the Klan are after me. Everybody Drew's like,
It makes it even funnier because
Yeah.
there is not one black person in this entire film.
Drew
Not
Barrymore,
one.
he's white. He's tanned. He's tanned, and that's enough. There's no
Fucking
black people in
insane.
There's no black people in Woodsboro.
Oh.
Well, that's because the Klan are apparently here. It's a vicious cycle.
Oh,
That's so good.
it's so funny.
It would look so much worse with white as well. Thank God they did.
The funniest bit of the whole film, I really laughed at it out loud, is when Henry Winkler is he's the principal,
Love
right?
him.
And he's in his room and he's trying on the mask, and they kind of make it seem like he's a potential killer because he is trying on the mask. And in terms of, do you remember that? What was the film we did where we were like, it was 10 Things I Hate About You.
Okay.
We were like, how is this person keeping their job as a teacher?
Yeah.
Because remember they were talking about how big the guy's dick was, and like
yeah.
Winkler does a couple of things in this. When Neve Campbell comes in initially to get interviewed by the police, he goes, we're just going to ask you a couple of questions, and then strokes her face and then her hair. And you're like, what the fuck's going on here? And then later on, when the two guys are running about with a ghost mask on having a laugh, he basically runs scissors down their fucking chest and goes, I'll fucking hang you up in a minute. You're like...
That's it. Running the thing down his thing like...
Highly he rips the guy's t-shirt because he's running the scissors down his chest.
I remember that. Yeah. Fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah. So basically, any public service in Woodsboro is really to be.
I don't know how he's got this job. And another cool fact is when he opens up his wardrobe, the Fonzie's leather jacket is hanging up. Apparently.
I didn't see that. Fucking hell. Why would I see that?
So when he's alone in the school,
yeah,
and he's obviously about to be killed, when he hears knocking on his door, he runs out and he goes, "Where are you, little shits?" And then the janitor, who is Wes Craven, is dressed up as Freddy Krueger.
Yes, yeah.
So he goes, "Where are you, little shits?" And he goes, "What did you call me?" And then he goes, so that was funny enough, but the bit I never realised before, he goes, "What do you call me?" And he goes, No, not you, Frank." And as he's closing the door, you just hear Frank go, "Prick."
Prick. Fucking prick.
It's fucking I was howling laughing at it.
What else does Wes Craven do, by the way?
See that? So Wes Craven's like,
because it's a perfect name for a horror director.
He's only ever done one film that wasn't a horror film. It's some piece of shit with Meryl Streep in it. But so he did The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay,
which was like proper 70s. The original.
Oh, you did the 70s one.
Proper 70s horror.
Great.
And then basically defined horror in the 80s because he did all the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Oh, it was him.
And then defined horror in the 90s.
I don't want to even fucking...
with Scream.
He's already the king of
He's
horror.
a fucking king. And he also did...
I knew he did loads of shit.
I don't know if you've ever seen Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is the very last Freddy film. So they'd gone through... Because one's great, one's excellent, two's all right, three, Dream Warriors.
Is that the one in
fucking
the mental
awesome.
hospital?
No.
I've seen that one.
Maybe, is it? I can't remember.
I think it's where he's in like a mental hospital, one of them, and they're looking out at windows, and fuck, it's been such.
You're not thinking of one of the Exorcists, no?
No, definitely not.
So, but then
I actually might be thinking of Halloween though, like Halloween 5 or something.
But he did New Nightmare, which was pretty much Scream.
Okay.
But not like, it was very self-referential. So it was, they were making, what's it again? They were making a film of Freddy, and the guy who plays Freddy, Robert Englund, was in it as himself, but then Freddy started to terrorise the set. Okay. So it was all very much like that kind of, so that was like a precursor to this. He made that like a couple of years before.
Was it, all right. Was it good?
Apologies to any proper film geeks. I'm getting hundreds of shit wrong here, but
I'm the same. I was sitting there going like, you didn't know what Wes Craven did. And I knew he did big shit, you know, but I didn't know he was fucking. I mean, just when you told me there, The Hills of Eyes thing, I'm like, well, I can't think of
him. John Carpenter, obviously. Tobe Hooper are pretty much the fucking kings of.
Somebody's going to drop in with one now, going like, "Nah, there's someone's dead."
Oh, there will be other ones.
Yeah, obviously, but
but like he made horror films.
That's three iconic ones straight off the bat. I mean, like, we're doing Wrong Turn next week, and Wrong Turn is just like a knockoff kind of
Texas Chainsaw,
a mixture of Texas Chainsaw and The
Hills of Eyes.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know,
yeah.
But let me see what else I've got here. I did laugh at the fact that Drew Barrymore pleaded for her life, by the way, at the opening scene, and she was like, "My boyfriend's coming back." You said you didn't have one. I was like, why did she say she didn't have one? If she did have one,
because she was flirting.
I know
with it, because it's quite. I think it's quite a sexy voice that the Ghostface killer has.
Yes, yeah. You. That's what happened. You pulled yourself off.
Exactly. Ghostface
tore a rotator cuff.
But I know she is flirting with him.
And she goes, "He's very big. He plays football." And I was like, well,
"Yeah, he could be. It could be special teams."
Yeah, he's a kicker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
he's a punter. He looked like a punter. That was not a linebacker.
The questions I have for you, right?
Okay.
So
I've also got 2 questions from the Discord about this.
Okay, right.
About this film.
Do you want to do them first?
Where's my phone? Yes. Okay, I'll do that. Right. You have 2 questions now. One of these kind of. Have you seen the original Wrong Turn? Have you seen the Wrong Turn we're going to watch?
Yes.
Right. So this one, it's a little bit of a mix of it thing, right? And we probably should leave it till next episode, but I don't think it will. There'll be older questions by then. If Ghostface from Scream and the mutant cannibals from Wrong Turn entered a kill-off, who do you think would rack up the most bodies?
Oh, the Wrong Turn cannibals.
Easily. They're even proficient in long-range weapons.
Yeah, because it's at some point
This guy's a clumsy
At
cunt.
some point, Ghostface is going to come up against a quarterback or a linebacker, and they're going to fucking destroy him.
Yeah, they're going to stab him. He's just going to punch him in the face, knock him out.
I mean,
he's survived the stabbing.
There's a reason that most of the people he kills are high school girls, because that's the only people he can beat in a fight, and he can barely beat them.
Yeah. Matthew Lillard's not overpowering.
No.
He's tall.
And then you go, how the fuck did they get the cameraman up on the... Because he was a big man.
Yeah.
So how the fuck did they launch him up on the... Because it must have been Lillard, because Billy is already pretending to die up in the bedroom because they've just pumped. So there's no way fucking Matthew Lillard's lifting that massive cameraman up onto a van himself.
Not really, no.
And he'd need to do it quickly because there's cunts about.
He's probably still up there.
Aye.
Lying on the top, taking a breather.
Although, they're not the most observant people, the people of Woodsboro. How many people leave that party and don't realise Rose McGowan's hanging from the garage?
Yeah, that's right. It felt like it was like a day past.
Aye.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And he's facing the road.
Aye, like...
Yeah, even the people leaving the party as well. Yeah, remember they ran out. Was the guy dead on the van out the front? They come in
to announce that... no, they phone up and it's... What's that guy? Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah,
he was in fucking... He's like synonymous with 2000 or early 2000s MTV.
I remember the show.
Yeah.
I watched it.
And
the Jamie Kennedy experiment, wasn't it?
And do you know who he used to go out with? Who? Jennifer Love Hewitt.
What?
Seems insane, doesn't it?
Does seem insane. I used to love Jennifer Love Hewitt.
He gets a phone call and they say, oh, they've just found out that the principal's been murdered and he's been hung from the goalposts. And all the dudes go, well, let's go and fucking see before they cut him down.
Fuck's sake. You get a flash him. Take a selfie with his dick out. This is a good question. Right, actually, by the way, the bonus points if you could figure out who would have come up with the most creative kill. Actually, I think the creative kill wouldn't be the cannibals, in fairness. That would
simple.
Yeah, I know. They're simple people.
Aye.
They want to eat and molest you.
Yeah. That's all they're into.
A cat flap is a pretty creative death, even though if we think it won't success.
Yeah.
So bonus point would be go to Ghostface for the creative kills, but I think wrong turn would easily. Right. The next question, Stephen Riley, man of the hour. He's the guy who got it follows. Right. Having read today that journalists are asking Matthew Lillard if he's going to be appearing in the upcoming Scream 7, he said no. But if I was, then I'd just lie and say no to you anyway. Right. Having only seen up to Scream 4, I'm not unaware if they've already done the Back from the Dead character arc shite. Shite, you didn't write that. The question is, do you guys consider this trope either a nice nod to the fans or a hacky jumping the shark moment being achieved?
If it's done well, I quite like it. I don't see how they could do it with Matthew Lillard because he's clearly been killed. Like, he's been killed quite brutally. He's a TV dropped on his head. Yeah.
Oh, that's a stupid death.
Yeah.
I don't think that would work like that.
I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, not at all.
You'd probably die, but you wouldn't get electrocuted because your face has gone into the circuits of the TV.
He was bleeding out and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not against it. I think it's perfect in horror films. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure it's good in other ones. I mean, like some of the cameos and you bring people back in, like... I mean, if you're up into the 6s and 7s, you are only watching it for fan service.
Yeah.
That's my point. So if you're going in Screen 7 and you see a guy coming back, like, there's brilliant points of it. Not really bringing back from the death, but Spider-Man, when the few Spider-Mans was fucking unbelievable.
I think it matters. I think Marvel can do it. I think superhero movies can do it.
Yeah.
And horror films can probably do it. Most other films really can't.
I reckon horror films aren't... I think horror films it would work for. I think it will work for horror films because I think they're a thing on their own. It's like a community. Anybody that's really into horror films, they're on the Reddit threads chatting to other horror fans, and that's the type of thing they like chatting about. They like even talking about Matthew Lillard even being a possibility. So I'm actually going to say it's fine. I don't think it's hacky. I think it's hacky in certain cases when it's done badly.
Yeah.
I
think
mean,
I like it if it's done well.
I think you're watching a horror film. If the horror film takes itself really, really serious, like I wouldn't say if they did some sort of Hereditary 3 and they brought back one of the things like, what the fuck are you doing? But if it's a slasher movie like this, absolutely.
And I also don't think there's anything wrong with giving fans a wee nod, because
I heard this about Alien Romulus, right, where people are like, oh, there's a lot of fan fiction in that. And I go, oh, what, for fucking first film in 5 that they've decided to give the fans what they like? Yes.
It's nice when people give fans that have stayed with them a wee kind of bit so they can go, hey, that's class.
Yeah. So for that, I will say it's fine.
Yeah.
What's your ones? Give me your.
These are nothing to do. These are imagine yourself in the film.
Beautiful.
Right, to see. Right, first of all, does Woodsboro High ever reopen again? Considering a huge amount of the majority of the children have been murdered, the principal's been murdered.
I'd say yes.
Neve Campbell's never going back, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Does the school ever reopen?
Well, I mean, things have been done worse in American schools, isn't it?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But that's more of a school shooting. It's not really like it's a different type of incident.
My problem is, it then becomes a tourist attraction. Surely,
it does.
Do you know what I mean?
You're right. Especially a masked killer at that school. Yeah, it does.
And related to that as well, what the fuck are Stu's mum and dad? Reaction when they come back to wherever they've been that weekend.
Yeah.
So they're coming back to a house that has been the scene of 8 murders.
Yeah.
And finding out that one of the deceased, is their son, and he is also a serial killer.
Yep.
They're moving immediately.
Oh, well, they have to, yeah. Actually, most of the families now that you say that are moving, their parents, Drew Barrymore's parents,
they can't live there. They can't put a swing up from that branch where she was, like,
just her femur
memorial
is her femur is the bone you sit on. They swing around. That's good. That's Lacey's there. Like legs on her, thank God.
Right, the scene where Billy and Stu are talking through their plan to cover it up and blame it on Sydney's dad, and they stab each other, which is brutal.
Enjoyed that. That's your choice.
Feel a little woozy here.
Yeah.
Which I liked.
I did enjoy the stabbing he got, because I thought, like, that shows how mental they are.
And you kind of get the sense that Billy's actually trying to murder him.
Yes.
He stabs him way more times.
Yes, I did feel like he was like, I needed you to do this, rather than... I don't think he's seen him as an equal, obviously.
Yeah.
Is what the kind of thing they're going for. And the guy's mental. And he hits him with the phone while he's bleeding out, which is really funny.
Where would you want to be stabbed?
Well, this is going to come towards, I think I've mentioned this before, like, I would hate to die quick.
Right.
Remember I told you, I think we talked about this in another thing, that I would hate to be shot in the head by a sniper. I'd rather be stabbed in the stomach and bleed out.
You would rather?
I'd rather be stabbed in the stomach and bleed out than be shot in the head and immediately killed.
So you don't want to die like that? You'd rather lie and suffer? That's insane.
It's not insane, because then you know you're dying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
which is horrible.
I feel like that.
But then you've got shit to remember, and then you start getting regrets and all that kind of stuff. Sniper to the brain like that. You've got no.
Nah.
You don't know anything about it.
I still think stabbing, and I'm gonna go stabbed in the stomach and bleed out. I understand that it's painful and it's mental, but I think it would be better to die knowing that you're dying. And be like, what the fuck's going on? Then.
So in this scenario, where we have to make it look like we're trying to make it look like we are innocents and we've been left for dead, you would take it stab in the stomach.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd take up the arse with a cock.
Fist covered in cocaine. A fist covered in cocaine. Blasted right up my rectum. Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
Right.
That's great.
The last question are both to do with Neve Campbell's Sydney. So she loses her virginity. Right? Now, she loses her virginity to Billy. In a couple of years, when she moves away, and when you're lying and you have a conversation with people going, what was your first time like? How the fuck do you explain that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard of a little place called Woodsboro.
Yeah. Well, I do actually.
That's my lad.
Yeah. Something about that droopy face.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't wearing the mask.
Especially if the guy's told you his. Oh God, it was really, really awkward. It was in my parents' bedroom while they were away for the weekend, and oh my God, my wee brother burst in at one point. It was so embarrassing. Oh God, I'm cringing thinking about it. What about you? I actually lost my virginity to the boy who a year earlier had raped and murdered my mother.
Oh God, yeah. So Muller's looking down from
so very similar.
Heaven, going like, "Oh, you have no idea how much you fucked up here." Like the Muller's going to have her a clip as soon as she lands up to the pearly gates. Like, you fucking idiot, you shagged my murderer.
And the last question: how long after your parents die would you have sex
with them? I reckon there's still a bit of the blood's still warm. Once they go cold, I think I'd probably.
I reckon.
No, so once after.
Would you wait till they've been buried?
Yes.
But after that.
After that, I don't think I get my dick down deep enough. Yes. I don't. I think I couldn't do it before then. I feel like I'd be too much being like, I've got shit.
I think it's probably different for dudes.
I've got shit to deal with.
Aye.
I'd be like, fucking, what, you're like different for dudes. Which makes me feel like you're going to be like fucking Saltburn ramming your dick into the grave.
It will also make a difference how they died. Like if your parents are elderly and they've died of natural causes, I reckon grieve for a bit, bury them, then you're back at it.
Yeah.
If they've died horrifically.
Yeah. If they died shagging.
If they died shagging, that's a totally different.
Because then you'd be in there. Like, this is how my parents went.
No, constantly check.
Someone getting your fist up your arse like your man there. This is how they went, both of them.
I am fairly certain my daughter was conceived on the night of my granddad's funeral. Fairly certain.
Oh no!
The dates tie up.
Oh Jesus Christ! That's so funny. That's amazing. I don't even have anything to say about that's just.
I only thought about that today.
Oh, that's.
And I was like, "Fuck!" I remember we spoke about that, and we kind of went. We counted back the months and went, "Wait a minute."
That's so good. Well, you've went up and done the eulogy. Where one life has been.
What lost. A reception that. Yeah. Just.
I'd like to announce that there's a possibility.
Horse and Amy over the grave.
we need to even the family out. That's so funny. We're on uneven numbers.
Oh fucking hell!
That's dreadful.
So yeah, even though we may have slagged this film off, I absolutely love this film. It's fucking awesome. It's very cool. I'll never forget watching it for the first time.
Yeah, it's quite funny, and the reason why I felt bad was because I also remember watching. It's very rare you remember the iconic ones. You know, the first time I would think or Jurassic Park or whatever. But I remember this one, and I remember being shitting myself when I shouldn't have been. I don't think anything here. Now everything else has been covered. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good stuff everywhere.
Next week we are doing Wrong Turn.
Yeah.
And we will be
hillbillies.
We will not look like
we're going to be doing Wrong Turn. Yeah.
In costume.
Yeah. And also obviously join the Patreon if you're into that. We'll get the Discord going. It's starting kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's shit in there, but
yeah.
We'll get it kind of speed rolling now.
So yeah, if you're listening and you like this stuff and you want to support us, then please join up to Patreon because you do get the extra stuff that we're going to do, and we're doing a lot of extra stuff in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So this week you're going to get the first ever episode we ever. It was like a trial run, a pilot, and then we're going to get next week. It follows from one of the people.
Yeah, we're doing a bonus episode of It Follows. Keep reviewing, recommending to people. Send us any messages about anything.
Yeah, keep up there, man. You know, not even you know what? Because of the regular episode, I read out some messages there from the Discord. But for the regular episodes, don't tweet us messages. Yeah. Those ones will still come in here. So keep doing that as well.
Yeah. And then if you're in Either Leeds or Bath. That's where I am this weekend.
Beer Killer, Manchester.
Beer Killer,
Manchester.
Manchester.
It's like a 6:30 show.
Yeah, and also Cullen is hosting.
I'm hosting.
So if you've never had the joy of that, then I would highlight it. If you like scary movies, go and see the most horrific thing you will ever see.
Yes. I'm not even arguing with that. That is it. I was like, is there any chance I don't have to MC? And they were like, no. And I go, okay, I'll do it. Okay, well, MCing it is.
And then we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye-bye.